all walks of life, there always has to be a book out there that has to be deemed unfilmable. Like, there is no possible way you can ever film something like this. However, if you give that certain unfilmable material to a very talented director who knows what they're doing with the property, then you can make it into something as many would describe it as being a masterpiece. First of all, one of my favorite movies of all time is Children of Men, and that movie itself was also adapted from a very unfilmable book created by P.D. James. However, despite a few changes into the film, Alfonso Cuarón has taken that unfilmable source material and turned it into something that most people would describe as a masterpiece of the 21st century. So, how does this process work with something like Alex Garland's new movie based off of an unfilmable book called Annihilation? Well, let's find out. As you all probably heard by now, this movie is getting shown in theaters across the United States. However, in countries such as the United Kingdom, they're only getting shown on Netflix. Mostly because when it came to distributing the film, Alex Garland really wanted to show this material worldwide to a mainstream audience. In such countries like the United Kingdom, they're only being shipped to Netflix because some of the distributors say, and by the way, this is not an actual quote, but this is technically what they're kind of saying, that the movie would be too smart for the average moviegoer. But yeah, this movie has gone through so many distribution nightmares. But how does it really work as a whole? So in the movie Annihilation, it features Natalie Portman as a biologist and former military soldier. Her life is being alright and dandy until her husband, played by Oscar Isaac, comes home, and something seems odd about him. On the way of finding out what is going on with her husband, Natalie Portman meets up with Jennifer Jason Leigh's character, and she says that her husband was with the group on a mission to go inside of a very bubbly-like field known as the Shimmer, where no one gets in and no one gets out. So both Jennifer Jason Leigh and Natalie Portman form a group along with 3 other women, some being played by Tessa Thompson and Jenna Rodriguez, and they go inside the Shimmer to find out what really happened to the crew and what happened to Natalie Portman's husband. And you know what? That's pretty much all I have to say about this movie. However, I will say this. If you are really looking forward to Annihilation, then I will do my greatest service to you by not spoiling the rest of the movie. But I will say that the movie is very smartly written from beginning to end, and that it takes some unique and very special twists and turns along the way. So the question is Annihilation good? My answer? Yes, it's really good. It's a very bold, ambitious, and very intelligent movie. And it's one of the most visually stunning, original movies I've seen since, well, ever. Now this movie is getting some very polarizing word of mouth. But you know what? I'm gonna recommend this movie, and I'm gonna tell you why. First of all, let me start off with the acting in the film. The vast majority of the actors do a terrific job in their roles. Tessa Thompson does a really good job at playing a very shy and very reserved kind of technician. Jennifer Jason Leigh does a very good job with the character who has a very basic and kind of sad backstory. And others like Oscar Isaac, despite how very little they're being shown in the movie, do a very good job with the material they're being given. Now, to be completely honest, if I had one little gripe about the movie, well, basically some people say she's probably the best character in the movie, I didn't kind of get or buy into Jenna Rodriguez's character. But not really because she's a bad actor in the movie or how she's being written, because there are some elements that kind of work for her towards the end. There's just something about her that I really don't buy. Because really she's there to play this Michelle Rodriguez tough girl kind of archetype. And I figured that if Michelle Rodriguez was in the movie, she would have done a better job than, I guess, Jenna Rodriguez. But when she's given some very dramatic material to work with, Jenna Rodriguez does a very good job with it. However, with maintaining the role of a Michelle Rodriguez kind of archetype, to be honest, it was a bit of a hit or miss with me. But without question, this is of course Natalie Portman's movie. She has more dimension to the film, more character to her, she has some of the most emotional moments in the film, and she's one of the most intriguing aspects of the film, including in some parts like the climax of the film. To state the obvious, in terms of visual effects, Annihilation is a feast for the eyes. To the very bubbly and beautiful looking force field of the Shimmer, to the very gorgeous and even terrifying creatures, it looks magnificent and almost flawless, to be honest. And also, what I really do like of the film is that it really crosses genres together. It crosses the brilliance and the scientific knowledge of a sci-fi movie. It has the creepy, violent, and atmospheric roots of a horror movie. Seriously, one of the best scenes in the movie kind of reminded me of one of my favorite horror movies of all time, The Descent. I just loved that scene so much, and I couldn't help my hair standing straight up when it happened. And the movie really has a very unique thinking man's aesthetic without having to be completely pretentious about it. It's not too complex to where you get confused, and it's not too stupid to where you think the movie is, well, again, pretentious. The movie handles both sides of the spectrum well, and it does it in spades. Now, before I end this review, I do have to say, this movie really isn't for everybody. I mean, even though I'm saying some positive things about this movie, there are some things that I can agree on when people watch this. There's some very spotting pacing issues towards the middle of the movie, and I can definitely see why it can become some sort of a drag with people. But aside from a few pacing issues and a bit of a questionable casting decision, I do believe that in my eyes, Annihilation is a movie that you should see, or at least give a chance to. Breathtaking cinematography, gorgeous visual effects, the acting is freaking terrific, and it mixes genre well without having to confuse its own identity. I think Annihilation is a movie you should definitely see as of right now. Yes, even if you're in countries like the United Kingdom and you're only watching it on Netflix, I suggest you should give this movie a chance. And with that being said, Annihilation earns a 4 out of 5. Polarizing? Sure. Worth recommending? Absolutely. Alright guys, that is my review of Annihilation. Comment below, let me know what you thought about the movie. Find me on Facebook, Twitter, and Google+. And also, if you would like to see more reviews like this, be sure to subscribe for more. My name is Luke Nukem, and you, my friends, have been blown away.